Credit Management is a non-profit credit counseling agency. We specialize in helping people take control of their debt.
People call in every day. By the end of the call, they're feeling better. They know there's some hope out there.
For over a decade, Family Credit Management has helped tens of thousands of Americans deal with the burden of debt.
If you're struggling with debt, the most important thing is to take control of it. Now's the time.
Family Credit Management.
Good afternoon. My name is Letitia Griffin, and I am a nonprofit credit counselor with Family Credit Management Services. Now, over the next few minutes, the next 25 minutes or so, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have regarding debts, finances, regarding any type of money management issue. And this is a call-in show, so you're able to call in and ask any questions that you may have right now. And I'm sure people have a lot of questions out there and you don't know where to get the help. But that's what we do. Family Credit is there to assist you with any type of questions, concerns, issues that you may have regarding your debt and personal finances. Now, if you don't have time to call into the show and you still need help, or you don't get a chance to call in, or we don't address whatever issue you may have, I want you to remember that you can always contact a certified credit counselor at Family Credit Management. Now, if you can go to our website, or you can call us. If you want to give us a call, that number is 800-994-3328, and there are counselors that are standing by just to take your calls and answer any questions that you may have. You can also go online to our website, which is familycredit.org. The reason why I recommend the website, though, is we've got this great chat function, and you can just ask a question to a counselor just by using the chat. That way you don't really have to talk to anybody, but you get the answers that you need. Now, so let's get into today's show. A lot of things have happened over the past few weeks that deal with debt, that deal with credit, and also it's everyone's favorite time of the year, Christmas time. So we're going to address a few topics there and talk about that. If you got any questions, feel free to give us a call. You can reach us on the call-in number 312-738-1060 for the next 25 minutes or so and ask any question that you may have. A lot of people are trying to figure out what is the best way to show your appreciation to someone and to show them that you care without spending a whole lot of money. And that's a really great question that we want to address just really quickly. A few ideas. If you've got some ideas that you want to recommend, you can feel free to call in and give them to our viewers as well. One of the hottest things that people out there buying are gift cards. And you may think that gift cards, a lot of people feel like they don't have, like they take away the human factor and they're impersonal. But there are a lot of people that receive them that actually appreciate them too. So gift cards are there for a reason. I do recommend them, but you do have to know the person that you're buying for. Now, there are those out there that don't like gift cards and they don't like getting gift cards either. And I've came across this really great website, especially for those of you, if you're a grandparent, if you're thinking about your grandchildren, if you want to, if you're thinking about someone that's in college, you want to know how to gift them and you're not sure how. This website is called giftofcollege.com, and I recommend this website because there's so many people out there that are interested in the educational plans or trying to pay for college. Now, with the college plans that are out there, what they typically do is that they lock in your college education or your tuition at today's rates, or whatever the tuition rate is for a college. It locks it in and you're able to pay that and to save up over time while a child grows from infancy throughout their lifehood until it's time for them to go to college. And if you start saving now, then they'll have a nice bit of change by the time they go to college. Now, there's no guarantee that they'll have enough to pay for everything, but it really does help. And those 529 plans are out there and they're available for those of you who are thinking about it. And with this website, though, with the giftofcollege.com, what it actually does is you will take what, if you don't like getting gift cards, you can take that gift card and it's like you're exchanging it for an educational gift card that you can send to anyone actually. All they have to do is log in and create an account. and link it to a 529 plan. So anytime someone goes to their website and they have a gift card that they don't want to use and you link it to that website, the person actually has that as a nice little gift. They get an e-gift card for college. Now that's a great idea. Whoever came up with that idea, it's a great idea. So you're trading in your gift cards that you don't use up to 85% of that value though, and you're getting something that they can actually use for the rest of their life. Help with their education, and education is key, and it's actually, you know, the foundation of everything that we do. You know for a fact that people go further in life when they have education, and this is a great way to help them with that. If you do have those gift cards and you don't like, let's say you got a gift card to a store that you don't like, you can also trade those in using another website called cardpool.com or swapagift.com. So those are some great websites to keep in mind. And with those two, the Card Pool and the Swap a Gift, what they do is essentially the same thing. You have one gift card, you exchange it for another. And that way, you still are able to keep your gift card or use that and not feel like it went to waste, because there's so many people out there that let the cards go to waste, or they lose them, or they just really don't use them. So that was just my helpful tip for the holidays. Also, whenever you are out there shopping, make sure that you look for the best deal. You want to get the best deal on whatever it is that you're shopping for. I always recommend doing a Google search with your smartphone or on your computer for whatever item that you're looking for. If you got a specific store that you like going to, put that store name in and type in coupon code and discount and see what comes up, because you never know what you'll find, and it's always great to save money. Also, keep in mind that after Christmas, everything goes on sale. Now that we've got that out the way, we've talked a little bit about the holidays, let's talk about next year, because I really want you to look forward to next year and trying to get your finances in order, trying to get everything in order, and just have a financial plan for your life. That starts right now. So we can start our plan. A lot of people wait till the last minute and they want to do New Year resolutions, or they say, okay, this time, last year was a little bit rough, but next year is going to be better. You actually have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing that will make my life better next year? And finances are a huge part of that. So it's always great to start thinking about your finances for next year, even though next year hasn't gotten here. This is the perfect planning season for that. Now, what I mean by planning season, you need to take a look at everything that you have. Take a look at your credit cards, take a look at your debt, take a look at your budget, and work on putting a plan together for next year. Now, I do recommend that you break it up into 3 steps. Let's look at your budget first, then maybe you want to look at your debt, and then look at your credit report. Which one do we tackle first? It's really up to you. I always recommend looking at your credit report first though. Your credit report is important, and it follows you wherever you go. Your credit report stays with you for years and years, and a lot of people just are scared to look at it. You may feel like it doesn't keep track or it's not accurate, but you actually do need to look at it, because you can't get anything anymore this day and age without knowing what's on your credit report. So you have to start there. Now, there are 3 credit bureaus. Keep that in mind, that each credit bureau is different. And a lot of people always say, well, why is it that we've got 3 different credit bureaus and none of them have the same information? Or do I just need to look at one and not the other? Which one's most important? And I recommend you look at all of them. Now, they're all different because they all keep track of different things. And the reason for that is because not all creditors report to the same bureau. Yes, there are 3 bureaus, and yes, the creditors know this, but it costs money for the creditors as well to actually be a member of the credit bureau and to provide them with that information. So there are some smaller places out there, some smaller collection agencies or doctor's offices or just medical bills, some smaller places that only report to one bureau. So that's why it's a great idea to take a look at all 3 bureaus to see what's going on and what's happening on each one. Everyone is going to report something differently. Also, you want to make sure that your information is correct on that credit bureau report too, because you've got your identifying information, which is really important. You want to make sure you have the correct name, that your address is correct on there, and that everything that's listed on there is actually yours. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling with their credit report and don't want to look at it because they feel like it's wrong. But you have the power, and it's up to you to actually fix it. No one can do it for you. Now, you may think that you can pay people to do it, and some people actually do try and pay people to do it, but they can't do anything more for you than you can do for yourself. When you're thinking about your credit report and you've come across something that's wrong, you need to do something that's called a dispute on your credit report. And that's where you go to the credit bureaus and you're questioning the information that's on there. Now keep in mind, the credit bureaus, they're tracking everyone, not just in America, but they're tracking everyone. They're keeping track of everyone's records, addresses, accounts. So there are times where things get crossed on your credit report, or that things that don't make sense, or things that can be reported are not yours. And then you can also be the victim of fraud or identity theft. So it's a great place to start by looking at your credit report. When you're doing a dispute, you have to dispute every bureau that you're looking at. So you can't dispute something on TransUnion and expect it to change on Experian. You actually have to do 2 different disputes. And you want to keep that in mind when you're looking at information there. Dispute what's there, and what you're doing is you're going to the credit bureau and you're saying that this is wrong, or I don't know what this debt is. I don't know where it came from, or I paid this a long time ago. If that's the case, they will remove that from your credit report or update it or whatever they're supposed to do. Now, a lot of times people feel like, okay, I'm going to go to a credit repair place, or I'm going to dispute everything on there. Keep in mind, if the information is right and you really do owe the debt, it's not going to come off. Also, anytime you're disputing things, it's not really factored into your score. So that's always good to know too, because things may show up on your report, they may be wrong, but while they're in dispute, it's not factored into your score at all. After that dispute is over though, that information will be updated. And sometimes people think that they've made strides, or they went to a credit repair specialist, and they got a whole bunch of stuff off of their report. Well, that could be true. That could happen one time. You just have the agency or whoever dispute it for you, and then that information is removed. But guess what? If that information was right, it's going to come right back next month. So just because an item is removed right now doesn't mean it won't pop back up. And then you have to dispute it again. So you always use whatever you can to and apply it for yourself. So if you know you have something on your report and it's accurate, there's no sense in trying to dispute it. If you do dispute it and it's removed, then that's great, but a lot of times it will pop back. So you have to continue to monitor your report. There's a lot of great tools out there for you to monitor your report. First thing I want to recommend is Credit Karma. Now, Credit Karma takes a look at your TransUnion and your Equifax score, and it gives you just a roundabout estimate of what's on your report. Now, a lot of people may think that that score is accurate, but it's not completely accurate because it's an educational score. It's not looking at every factor that the lenders are looking at when they make decisions on whether they should extend you credit. So if you look at your Credit Karma score, you look at scores offered by other places, and you see what that score is, you need to keep that score in mind, but add maybe about 15 to 20 more points to it, and that is what lenders will actually see when they pull your credit to see if they should extend you credit. So keep that in mind when you're looking over your report and you see things are there. Go ahead and dispute them, get them off your report, increase your score. And the best way to increase your score is to establish positive payment history. Keep those payments going. Make your payments on time to your lenders. And if you mess up, don't worry about it. Pick back up right where you're at and then go ahead and start again, because even though your report is with you for years and years, your score only looks at the last 24 months worth of history. So you've got, if you mess up today, 6 months from now, your score will have improved. And then a year from now, it'll have improved even more. 2 years from now, no one will even really notice that you've messed up unless they look at your report. But the score will show that you've got a positive score, you're making great strides, and you're maintaining your credit. And that's what you want. You want to be able to maintain your credit. So don't be scared to pick back up. If you mess up, pick right back up then and continue and work towards getting your debts resolved and taken care of. A huge problem that people have when they're dealing with these is that they may have collection agencies reporting, and they may be receiving collection calls and notices, and they don't know where to start. So if you need help getting started looking at your credit report, we've got counselors at Family Credit that are great about going over your credit report with you. They'll sit with you, or they'll go over everything over the phone or in the chat, and they can tell you what's on your credit report, what you need to pay attention to, and can help you in building an action plan to get your finances in order and to establish a repayment plan with your creditors, and to have a clear financial picture about what you need to do for next year. That number for our credit counselors is 800-994-3328. So feel free to give them a call at any time. And if you've got any other questions, feel free to call them in and ask. Now, I know it was just announced that the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates. And a lot of people wonder, or a lot of people haven't even thought about it, but you need to know how the interest rate hike will affect you. And keep that in mind when you're planning for next year too. So what does an interest rate hike mean to you? What it actually means is that, guess what? You are going to pay, well, you're going to make more if you want to open up a savings account, or you want to get a higher return on savings, should pay off well for investing. But if you are looking to get a loan, or you want to get a credit card or anything like that in the future, your interest rate is going to be higher. So if you're trying to save, you'll make more. But if you're trying to get credit or get a loan, you're going to pay more for it. So keep that in mind with your planning, because I don't want you to get any sudden surprises as to where, hey, why is my interest rate so high on this credit card? A lot of the banks, they use the interest rate, the prime rate anyway, to determine what your credit card is. So that just means that that prime rate is going to increase a few points, and you'll have to pay more for credit. I do recommend that you protect yourself and think about your future right now with the interest rate hikes. What are the things that you can do? Pay off your debt. That is a great thing to protect yourself so that you're not paying more in the long run. Try and do what you can, or look at your debt, look at your budget, see if you can pay extra towards it, and work on paying off your credit card debt, especially because those interest rates will be higher. You want to keep that in mind. Paying off your debt is a great thing to do, so to work towards your financial freedom. Also, think about savings. What are some saving vehicles that you can use? What are some things that you can do? Is now the time to open up a savings account with your bank? You've got a checking account. Should you open up a savings? Should you get a checking account with a interest rate? Looks like we've got our first caller. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening. And listen, first of all, to all your listeners, I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. I got a question to ask. One of the accounts offers, a bank offers premier checking. In other words, like they would give you up to $200,000 or $100,000. And say, for instance, particularly it's used for if you overdraft on one of your checking accounts. But also, it's, like the card that I will put it on, I use it for business-like. So if I ever use that money and have it into the account, which I use to deduct during the end of the year, is that money that is not used, is that deductible also? Now, did you understand what I'm saying to you so far?
No, can you give me a little bit more details? Are you saying the checking account that you're using, or is it like a...
Yes, it's what I have two different checking accounts at the bank. One of the credit cards is from the bank also. So I use that card for business, like nothing for clothing or anything like that. If you need work done at a building, you use that card. That card is used for, and that's deductible at the end of the year. If I use that premier checking and put it on that card, would that be deductible at the end of the year? And what happens if you don't use it? Just say, for instance, they just give you $100,000, then that means it's going to be more on your income tax.
So are you
So,
referring to the loan that's like the overdraft account that's attached?
yes, that's what it is. They they always calling you. They always want to give you something. And I'm kind of old school. You gotta be careful what people always want to give you. And I've been thinking about it, but I haven't committed myself to it. Matter of fact, I'm still waiting on you to give me some tips on any great investments we could put in now. That the end of the year is coming. What's going to be good for next season for people to invest? And I know you know all that stuff. So anyway, can you answer both of those questions for me? Let me get out there. It's nice to see you again also. Let me get out there so I hear your response. And thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have someone call in and ask questions about their finances and debt. Now, when you look at the differences between the accounts that the banks offer and what you should actually be using for business expenses and for personal expenses, it's always a great idea to have those two available. But as far as deductions go, you will need to talk to an accountant about that, and just to get more information about what deductions you can actually take and how do you use that money that's still left in the account, because I believe you may be referring to the money that is left just sitting open from the line of credit or the overdraft protection, not necessarily in the checking account. So with that, as long as you have not used the money, then it's still the bank's money. It's still sitting there for them to use. So that's something that you'd have to talk to them about as well. As far as investment goes, I believe everyone should be investing in something, investing in yourself, in your future, and that's actually the rule of thumb that I use when investing. Now, we're not allowed to share tips. We can't really give what stock tips that are out there or where we feel you should be investing. That's something that you actually have to handle on your own. But I do recommend you do it. Now, when you start investing, it's always great to start small. Maybe play around and just look at different tools that you can use, like Capital One 360, or check with your bank to see what type of investing they can do. You can use Acorn out there, which is a great website for those that are looking to get started. There are also other investments that you can use, investment companies that you can use when looking to trade as well. But the rule of thumb is that you need to invest in something that you know. Pick something that you know. Pick a stock that you know. Follow a company that you know. Think about what's your favorite restaurant, what is your favorite clothing line, what's your favorite store, and see if they're a publicly traded company. I do recommend that you follow them for a while as well. Check their stock prices every once in a while, figure out what their ticker symbol is, and just follow them to see what is a good investment for you. Now, after you've looked at stocks for a while, then you can start looking at bonds or mutual funds. And there's a lot of mutual funds out there that have a great return too. So you want to do a little investigating on your own and see what's out there. There are great websites like Bankrate and Morningstar that offer that information. MarketWatch is a great one as well. And there are lots of apps that you can use to follow the stock market and just, have that update you every single day. I look at the stocks all the time just to see if today is what type of market are we in, bear or bull, and see how are the stocks that I follow, how they're doing. It's always great to invest in something that you know, though. That's the rule of thumb that I want to leave you with. Now, we'll be back next week just to wrap up this season. And if you've got any other questions, feel free to give a counselor a call at 800-994-3328. And again, we'll be back. So if you've got some more questions, feel free to call in at that time and give them to us, and we'll discuss that next time. You guys have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you again. Take care.